meow gaming darlings, bear with me just a second here. I will just dim up a little bit because it is a little bit too bright outside. And then of course, where's the gaming thing? A little bit ill prepared, I do apologise, but it is what it is. And thank you and welcome to the live stream of Sonic Rumble. So of course, what is this game, and of course, what is it all about? Well, of course, you have come to the right place. Now, if you're thinking that this is a massive game, it is in its own way if you're a major fan of playing random mini games of your favourite Sonic characters, with of course at the same time of doing all these different tasks that you'll be able to do, but do not expect any action platforming, as if to say that if there is the usual storyline as to what you will actually find across through with the traditional Sonic games. So of course, Sonic Rumble Party is of course, it is a party game of various of different mini games that you play with other people for where it's on the multi-stream of such multi-cross platforming, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, where you have people that will play via Steam OS, and which is where I'm playing from on it today. And of course other platforms, and of course you all challenge each other of playing different tasks, and of course you win prizes of rings, where of course you can customise your characters to the point of them doing different poses, different skins. And as you can see, for example, I'm currently Sonic the Hedgehog, big up to Sonic, with of course the Knight's Glove. Now we've already got one message here from Amy Rose fan 9126, MVP for Amy Rose. But please, Amy, keep the politics out of it. There's no need for that kind of rhetorical. Thank you very much. But I appreciate the MVP for Amy Rose. So of course, with that being said, my old gaming darlings, allow me to demonstrate as you go along through. So of course, as I've mentioned, we're playing this through onto the Steam Deck. And of course, if you're wondering how much is this game, it is free. Yes, you've heard that right. The game in itself is free. It's a free download. But of course, there is to be expected that, of course, there are loads of mini transactions. So think of it in a sense of you're downloading a free game, but of course, there's mini transactions of you being able to do upgrades, or where if you wanted to up your allowance of the in-game currency, and so forth. That's the way you've got to look at it. So of course, once you have you get your basic character, and as soon as you hit the play button, you of course immediately go to hit the play button, and of course it's a random roulette of what mini game you go for. Now this one, we're going to be playing a game of collecting the rings by attacking with skill. So of course you are therefore to attack each other in the ring and collect as much rings, and whoever wins the most rings of course wins the game. Now it does have a little stats in the game itself that you have does have its own little stats to say your percentage of winnings, and not so much on the losses, but of course you can see obvious of in comparison of who has got the most out of, you know, say like an 8 out of 10 of wins, but you won't see a harsh wording of saying loss or anything. So it's nothing too difficult in this particular game. So of course you clearly see what your tasks, what your action buttons are: A to jump, X to spin bounce, and Y to punch in this particular game in itself. Now, I don't know what position I've come at, but if you've managed to clear, then by all means you do get a little bit of a percentage, or it does come up as stats how well you've done. And would you look at that? I lost! So, of course, there is no penalisation if you don't complete the task or anything, or if you didn't come out top 3. Of course, you'd just be more glorified on the stats, as to say how well you've performed in the game. And as you may have noticed, there is a lot of customization through. And the excellent thing is that as you download this game, there is no advertisements or commercials into it whatsoever. Blaze the Cat TB5K, hello. Amy Rose YT7G, hello. Good evening, guys. I hope you're keeping well. Thank you very much for your messages. So, of course, as per game that you complete, you get a little stats as to say who is to come first on winning a particular item games. Now, if you do manage to get to the finishing line first, then of course you will win the item that comes available. And that looks like to me that we will win a character, maybe? I think that is normally the case. Now, do be warned, and this is a good advisory to parents who are watching this for their kids or anything. Every minigame that comes into play where they complete, there is an automatic trigger from the game itself as to in-game advertisement of to purchase the skins. Now you can get rid of these by clearly clicking on the X button, but you're going to get different ones that come across. So, and this is what I mean. There is also an advertisement for a seasonal pass where you pay an annual fee or monthly fee. And then, of course, if you hit on the X button again, you can just easily close them through. So make sure that if you've got your kids playing on this game, that they click on the X button, because if you do decide to actually, if they do select on the fee or to agree on the term, it will then take you through to double checking your purchase of it. And of course, if you've got your bank card linked to it, it's going to proceed to it. So please, parents, do advise on your purchases. So of course, what we'll do is as well, I'll take you through a little bit through here. So if you see this new bit here, you click on the new here, and of course, it's an update of new stuff that you've collected. Now this could be new different characters. Now you're probably looking, I thought, hang on just a second. Did we just witness characters from the Smurfs and Care Bears? Yes, that's quite right. So the game does collaborations. The game does collaborations with other companies as well. And they're currently recently going through a collaboration with the Smurfs and Care Bears. And if you think they're all going to come in for free, that's not the case. So do be warned that if you're interested of playing about in a character that's part of the Smurfs or Care Bears, there is a fee to it. So parental discretion is advised on this. You come to this bit here, and of course you can have a Chow, which is a little Tomodachi friend kind of character, and it's more of an accessory. It doesn't actually boost your performance or anything. It is just a little side buddy that helps around. It's a bit of a decoration. And then of course you then have this here, skills. Now this can be used for in regards to perfecting your in regards to like your characters for whether you come across any different players. But of course we haven't have the opportunity to lock any, so of course that would have to stop right there. Bear with us 1 second, guys. I just want to get through to a message on here because we've got a load of spam bots. Oh my god, I think I've just been infected with spam bots. Oh dear. Sorry, game is just on hold for a time being. I've never seen my messages being a little bit active, but of course, I don't know, because they're talking as if they're talking to each other. Maybe soon is the right time for to be able to get my own moderator. I think that's that for now. Thank goodness. Thank goodness for that. So I do apologise on the delays on that one, Meow Gaming darlings. But of course, then the next thing. Now the one that you see here is of course these little messages here. Now in the next mini game I'll show you as an example. But of course what this does is that you can send little emoji messages like reactions during of which gameplay and of course during from which before you actually start in the game. And they're not bad. It's not the case that you can't send a message or anything, it's just a reaction. There's nothing more to it. And then of course you can only select up to 4, I do believe, or you can have 4 at one time. So you've got 2 different sets here. One is empty, but the other one I've already got 4. One with a wink, smart, laughing face, towers its thumbs up, and of course a Sonic thumbs up. Who doesn't want these thumbs up? You tell me. Now, of course, this one is the emotes. Now, the emotes is more in particular for those that if you are into sort of having character animation styles for when you win a game or anything. They're nice little touches or anything, but I wouldn't look into it too much in a case. Now, some of them are locked up, just like some of the others, and of course, in some cases, you can't just earn them. Like whilst playing games, you have some of them are locked due to you're needing a seasonal pass, so there is a downfall to it. Now, in regards to the effects, now you can have these particular effects during like your animation slots, but of course, as you're running through, as I'm selecting through, you've got these little running effects here. And then the next thing that once we've done out of that, if we go back to the main game here. So of course this one here, this is more of your note memo. Now of course there's a notification about event passes or anything, but I'd ignore this one if you're not really into like your sort of purchasing. But of course when you go for something like missions that you can achieve goals, and of course you get little prizes out of it as well. So, and this can be used towards in-purchase gaming that you can use, so say like use your points to get extra skins or reactions or emotes. Quite handy. Or you could, if you have enough for like your cost, there is a little thing called a raffle. Now think of it as it is that if you have enough to go for random for a raffle, just select on any of them, any of the boxes, and of course, what does this entail? So of course you use this for like in your stages or promote for your next class. So if you get enough of this, then of course you go into like the next classes. But guys, bear with again, we've still got spam bots. I do apologise on this. I didn't expect any of this at all. The arts of multitasking, honestly, unreal. Hopefully, that should calm the whole thing down. Again, apologies on the matter. So, of course, now that the majority of the boring part is out of the way, let's get into some more of the gaming. As you see through, runsy. Who have we got to play with? And of course, what game do we actually play? Now, for those who are concerned about talking to strangers, do not worry. There is no direct DM messaging service. It is pretty much you create a profile and you just play with other players. So, of course, we're waiting for the countdown to get in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Now the aim of this mini game is that to get to the finishing line first, but of course, do not touch the edgings because you get an electrocution. Why did I struggle saying that word? I really don't know. But so far so good. We're in second place. Oh, come on. Second place is absolutely fantastic. There's only about a couple of seconds in regards to it. Now, of course, there are players that probably have done a lot of upgrades to the characters and everything. So if you've ever wondered why is there such a huge difference in performance-wise, then, well, you know why. I don't think we're going to get that Blaze the Cat skin, that's for sure. But one can try his best. We'll do another game of this and I'll take you through on some of the in-game specs. Well, in-game shopping is what I meant. Now, if you did want to send an email, and if you're playing through on the Steam Deck, all you need to do is hit the R1 button, and then use the corresponding buttons, and you can do this as many times as you want, so there's not any limitations or anything. Nearly forgot I had to press the B button for the power. Is it power dash they call it? I don't think we did well on this one, I'm afraid. Because, well, I forgot my power dash button. Never do I mind, never do I mind. It seems like we've got a couple of new subscribers here because it's saying they've got 117. That's very nice of you. Unfortunately, it's not really showing up who who is actually who they are. So if you're still watching this and you just subscribe, please make yourself known, and of course I will give you a shout out. Now, do we've only got about another 7 minutes of this, because of course at 8 o'clock today we will be streaming a completely different game later on. So of course, if you wanted to go and spend on your rings or whichever you've got, and that being your in-game currency, all you need to do is head over to the shopping cart. Now of course, if you wanted to spend your items using the red stars, then of course you'd click on the red star rings here. But if of course you wanted to use your rings, then of course you just select on the ring icon, and of course go through onto selecting your purchases, and just like so, just select, hit on the item here for the purchase, and just like that, I'm gonna have this Chow as my buddy. Oh, I like having buddies, don't you worry about that. And there's quite a few to collect from what I can see here. A Coco buddy. Fair play. Now the Coco character is actually from the recent, I say recent, the last big adventure platform of Sonic the Hedgehog called Sonic Frontiers. And to be honest with you, it's the best yet of the recent 3D Sonic the Hedgehog platformers. Not sure why I wanted to have the headbang one, but it is what it is. We've got a no paint remote of Silver the Hedgehog. Now of course this one here, now to be able to get the step 2, you have to make the purchase of your in-game currencies of all 4s that you see in step 1. So therefore you need to go over to step 2. And once you hit step 2, obviously it says here that we need to get 30,000 rings to be able to get a prime version of the town. Sounds pretty good if you ask me. And then of course you've got all these different customization skins for your characters. Providing that you've actually got the characters in yourself, then of course that would actually work. But of course there's in-game currency for where you can buy for your buddies, item-wise in itself, but of course these do all change in due course if you have to purchase, because there is a timer set to count the days and hours, which of course will then revert into minutes when it gets closer to the end. But anyways, going back through, we'll do one more mini game, and then of course we will then call it a day. But of course I hope you quite enjoyed of getting a brief understanding if you are new to Sonic Rumble Party. What mini game we got? Ooh! Like 50 seconds to clear. Now this one is a bit of a topsy-turvy type of game. And of course, to be able to survive, obviously, you all start off with 3 lives, and you have to stay on the platform as long as possible. But however, there are obstacles that will try to knock you off, and players can try to push off as well. But whoever has the most lives is thereby the winner. And even if you go into the end water, unfortunately, you still lose. But there are opportunities for you to collect extra life so that you can recount or recall some of the lives to help boost the chances of winning. this does appear, and you complete your steps, then of course you have the opportunity to get a random prize. Now this could be anything, and I mean literally anything, but it looks like a common 2 is getting a slightly rarer item than just a typical common 1. So it looks like we've gone for a rare. Oh, rare 2. I think we're going to go for an epic item here. An epic! Now what are we getting out of this? And it's Charmy the Bee, my old gaming darlings. I'm quite actually happy with that. He's not one of my favourite characters, but I'm glad that we've got somebody from the key characters from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And with that being said, we've even won the skin of Blaze the Cat. We're getting Charmy the Bee and Blaze the Cat. Happy day. So I'm really quite impressed with that last week. That actually genuinely helped out. And see, this is well, I mean that every time you finish off a minigame, you're going to get spam of all these different in-game advertisements of, do you want to purchase for this? We do a bundle deals. There's also, of course, annual passes for other deals as well. Gets a little bit tedious. So I hope you quite enjoyed the brief demonstration through of Sonic Rumble Party. Now, what do I personally make of it? If it's something that you enjoy out of time and just a little bit, 30-minute break, then by all means, happy days. I wouldn't see this as something for like if you wanted to go an hour or more maybe. And for those who are thinking if there's a storyline into it, I'd personally avoid that. It is just a random minigame multiplayer version. And so of course, with that being said, if you do not mind the in-game advertisements of purchasing for in-game currencies and skins and emotes, if you don't mind the bothersome of that, then of course you'll be fine. But if it is a bit of a tedious problem and you're worried about your children of getting access to accidentally purchase on it, then of course do be careful. And of course parental guidance is advised on the matter. With that being said, there will be a now and then of where I'll be playing Sonic Rumble Party, and of course if you're playing this at self, there is a random chance that we could be playing each other. But of course, as I say through, it is an alright game. I wouldn't expect to play it too long, but of course I enjoy it just to break up the different games that I do, and it sure is, it's colourful enough for enjoyment. But with that being said, my old gaming darlings, come back at 8 o'clock today, where of course we will be playing Indigo Park. So of course I hope to see you all then. That will be in about just under half an hour actually, to be fair. But without further ado, my old gaming darlings, if you want to see more of Sonic Rumble, leave a comment down below after this stream or whichever, and of course I'll be more than happy to stream Sonic Rumble for you. And of course if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and of course if you enjoy it, leave a comment and even leave a like. And of course if you do help share the channel, by all means it helps everyone get more involved with the channel in itself, and of course your support is of course most appreciated. But without further ado, my old gaming darlings, take care of yourselves and each other. All the best, love to you all, my old gaming darlings, ta-da!